right? And most times before 9:30 I'm done, okay? Why? Because I do the same thing every day. When you do the same thing every day, there is breakthrough in that. Because now you see the same thing over and over and over, and you start to learn, you start to see things that maybe you didn't see yesterday, but you're like, man, like, this happened last week, and it happened yesterday, and it's happening today, and then you start to catch on things, and you're like, okay, cool. Now, the second thing before, after you have a schedule is having a strategy. Guys, having a system is important. And that's what a strategy is, right? There's no business out there that can survive and make it to like big numbers without a system. It will crash, right? So since we said already that trading is a business, so do you have a system? And having a system is having a strategy, like Impulse, like the scanners we have in the academy, right? Now, when you have a strategy, what happens is that you look for the same, and it's about us being consistent, right? And repeating the same thing over and over. It's like, let's say you get a job at McDonald's, right? And then they tell you, hey, listen, this is your station. Isn't it better when they tell you this is your station? Because now you're like, okay, I'm flipping the burgers, okay, I'll flip the burger, and then there's a point where you're just like, right? And the burger's like flying, you're catching in the air. Why? Because you master that, right? Now, if you jump in the market and every day you're doing something different, you're not gonna master anything, right? So, have a schedule, have a strategy, okay? And what do I mean by a strategy? Is having a system where you know when to enter, what has to happen in order for me to take a trade. Because you can just take a trade because you feel like, oh, now is the moment to take. No, there has to be rules, right? Like this and this and this has to happen in order for me to even consider taking a trade, right? And taking the trade and exiting the trade, you need to know when to enter the trade and when to close the trade. But also, you need to manage your trade, all right? So it's entry, management, exit, right? It's a whole process, all right? So you take a trade and now you manage it, okay, like, because the big deal, guys, is lowering your risk. Because the risk is always there. Most times, you're gonna lose, let's be honest, right? But the times that you do win, those are the good times, right? So, let's say you take a trade. Now you have a schedule where you're already looking at the same thing every single day, right? And now you have a strategy. That is the same thing every day. You don't change. Because imagine, like sometimes we jump in the market and we're like, okay, let's see what the market has today cross. And then we see an inverted head and shoulder, and we see this, and sometimes we even see it in our, and we want to believe we see something. We're like, yeah. This is a head and shoulder, right? And there's nothing in there. So what's the